If you are interested in checking out Tesla Model 3 in person, I'll tell you where you can do it, either right now or very soon. Also, the whole Tesla Model 3 trim controversy keeps going. I checked it out myself yesterday, so I got a little bit of details and my personal opinion. I'll explain everything in just 1 second. We will do all of this right here at E4 Electric, your #1 source for what's happening now in the world of electric cars. And we're going to start right now. Oh, supposed to do the intro. Let's try it again. And we're gonna start right now. All right, good. I spent like more time trying to set it up than the intro took itself. All right, guys, welcome to this channel. We're gonna talk about the Tesla Model 3 pretty much all day today because this is what's in the news now. As you know, Tesla Model 3 owners have been buying this car basically sight unseen. Some lucky ones have had a glimpse of it on the road here in Silicon Valley. Some had to, were able to check it out in person. But most people kind of have to look at the pictures that Tesla provided for everybody and buy them sight unseen. Now, now Tesla has finally started putting together, putting demos, the actual Model 3s in the showrooms. They're starting with Los Angeles and Palo Alto. I visited the Palo Alto showroom yesterday. There was a lot of media. This was like a big deal, bigger deal than I thought, actually. And see right here, this is the Model 3 right there. As you can see, there's a line. There's a line to get inside the car just to check it out. So so let me show you a few more pictures. This is you can see Model S is right next to it. They kind of put it a little bit aside. There's a sign, and here what it looks like from the back. As you can see, it's roped off, so the line can wrap all around the car, and it did. Also, let me show you a bit of a video as well. So this is me basically walking into the store. Now, this is Palo Alto Shopping Center, Stanford Shopping Center, and it's kind of, a bunch of stores, and boom, all of a sudden there's Tesla showroom. A lot of them are like that, as you probably know. Now, as you walk in, the Model S aside, and boom, there's a Model 3 right in the middle. You can see the line is kind of short at that point, but it is a small showroom, but it was pretty crowded. There were a lot of media, like literally after I left, there was a bunch of people with camera, NBC, and so forth. Now, this is a gray, full range, 310-mile premium package. Model 3, and it is a big deal, and because it's hard to buy a car when you don't even know what it looks like, and as you know, pictures can only kind of go only so far. And when you get to see and sit in the car, you can also play around with the screen, so that you kind of get a bit of a tour. You can play around with the screen and see what it's like to actually to operate the user interface. So yeah, this is pretty exciting news, because we are no longer guessing what this car looks like. Now, if you're somewhere in the Bay Area, or if you're in Southern California near Los Angeles, you can just walk into showroom and check it out right now. But of course, Tesla will be delivering more of these demo cars pretty soon to the showroom near you. Of course, we're going to start in California, then we're going to spread out throughout the country, then Canada, Europe, and then Australia and New Zealand. I know a lot of you guys are watching off from Australia and Europe. Saga photo right here is from Germany. So it's gonna take maybe a few weeks to maybe even a few months, but it is still a great thing that we can now check it out in person. Let's see. I'm just looking in the chat room. IMH. Oh, look at this. This guy, he is in the chat room, or she is, I don't really know, but one of my most favorite and most active comment poster on, but rarely in the chat room. He says reservation holders are like, hey, don't touch my car, I've been waiting for 2 years. Yeah, I think this is just really going to be demo car. And by the way, by demo car, I mean like a display car. I don't mean like you can test drive it. I'm sure test drives are far away. Nigel in the chat room says Model 3 same color of my last Renault. Alright, yeah, this looks alright. I mean, I like black and white and silver. Gray is not my most favorite color, so I'm kind of surprised that they put that car in there. I've seen a lot of people liking other colors, but it is what it is. Oh, so Matthias Prince says headed Alcantara still. Okay, well, let's move on to that. I'll tell you all about this because there has been a bit of a controversy, and we're going to talk about it right now. Before that, let me just remind you real quick, so of course you don't forget, but this channel is sponsored by Evanex, and so is this video, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. And if you want to have your own discount code, you can see it in the description of this video. Okay, let's move on to the trim controversy. Okay, so this let me back up. So when Tesla was putting out images of what the Model 3 was going to look like inside, everywhere else it had pretty much the Alcantara. I just learned this word, Alcantara, but anyway, it's like a suede-like material everywhere, right? On top and on the doors and everything. Now, only about a week ago, and that's how the first cars were delivered, right? So people who were able to check it out in person saw that. But then, without sort of saying anything, Tesla started using a different material that you see right here. And, you can find in Model S and the Model X as well. And so people freaked out. And I mean, people freaked out. Forget about the production delays. Forget about misaligned panels. That's all what people wanted to talk about. And it's the fact that they switched from suede-like material to this kind of a, texture, cloth kind of a material. And, okay, so that's what happened. All right. Now, Tesla really has done that, and it looks like it was a supplier issue, which is a bit odd at this point of the game that they didn't figure this out by now. Especially, they already have 2 cars on the market, but it is what it is. So they've decided to switch to this type, and let me. I have another picture. I have a full picture of this, so you guys can check it out. This is what it looks like. You can see it. In person, I gotta tell you, it is, and I got another picture too for show you. So just so we're like completely on the same page. So this is what the trimming looks like on the top. All right. So my first thought, I like the new one much better than suede-like. Suede-like material, whatever you touch it, it just always looks dirty. Even though it's not dirty, if it just people touched it, it's just because the way the texture is, it always just looks dirty, and it does get dirty. All right, so I'm not a big of a fan. And people thought that people were saying, by the way, that this looks cheap. I think suede-like material looks cheaper than this. This actually looks pretty classy in person. It's nice and solid, and I like it better. Okay, now yes, granted, Tesla probably should have mentioned this when they made a change. Now, the other complaint, from what I understand, is that it was kind of a mix and match, because even though this trim on the top part of the car is this way, on the doors it's still suede-like material. And I thought, was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. But then I checked it out, and I'm sorry guys, I forgot to take a picture of that. But on the door, the suede material matches the interior color of the seats. So in this case, it was like dark gray. So, and that looks great. I'm actually don't mind that at all, that they kind of mixed and matched it, because it's just 2 different colors and 2 different places, and I feel like it's actually a good match. Now, maybe they'll switch to this material as well for the door panels, but I don't think it will make any difference as long as they keep this consistent. Now, let's see, I just lost the comment that I like to. Okay, so yeah, Technocato in the chat room says the trim is very common even in C-Class Mercedes-Benz through Ford Fusion. I agree. I mean, and again, I like it better. Adrian says, I guess Alex went back to sleep. LOL. Okay, I guess you guys are just talking. Am I still live? I see that you guys are watching, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. Gregory Bell says Model 3 terrible car in usability. I see many accidents with that screen having to adjust everything. Actually, I disagree. The screen is very easy to use. It's actually much closer to you than you might look in it may look in pictures. So I actually think it's going to increase the satisfaction of user experience. And I know you don't have a heads-up display in front of you, but the speed and everything you need to know is so close to you that, and it's so big that I feel like you don't even have to take eyes off the road to see what speed you're going with. So I think that's actually a big plus. Let's see. Let me know, guys. Are you having trouble with the feed? I see my watch history here. I see you're talking in the chat room. I guess you guys had to reload, but it might be a YouTube issue. I look like I'm doing okay here. So let me know in the chat room if I'm still live. Let's see. Tesla channel says amazing car, best car black and white. I agree, but also silver. You know, I know Model S doesn't look really that great in silver, but in silver, Model 3 in person looks really, really good. Let's see. Technocata says ready for Model 3 delivery, reserved March 31st, expected February through April, so you're going to be getting it pretty soon. Don't forget that you will have only one version for now, but if you're okay with that, congratulations. Nigel says, personally, I feel the white inside is just asking to get dirty. Yes, I mean, anything that slides is going to get dirty, and I don't think between those two different trim materials, you're really going to get an advantage one way or another. Now, when the white seats that Tesla has as an option, not in Model 3 yet, I believe, those can be easily cleaned, believe it or not. But yes, any kind of material, unfortunately, will get dirty, and you're going to have to get your car detailed, or at least buy some aftermarket cleaners and stuff like that. Donald says you're alive, no problem. Jordan says live. Okay, we're good. Maybe I misunderstood your comments, guys. Why is there a doctor next to the Model 3? Yeah, well, don't forget, this is Stanford Shopping Center, so there's a Stanford hospital right next door to it, so it's either a nurse or a doctor. But hey, it's always just, you know what, just in case if people faint from just loving the Model 3 so much, there's a doctor on site. All right, guys, let me remind you really quick, if you want to support the show and see some behind-the-scenes footage that I'm going to post a lot of from CES, please support me on Patreon. The link is in the description of this video. And let me move on to my favorite part of the broadcast, which is comment of the day. And this comment from the day of the day comes from Gene Phipps, who's also a regular poster. He says Kia Niro will likely force Tesla to unveil the Model Y sooner. I can't agree with you more. So guys, pay attention here. So I just came from CES, as some of you, actually, or most of you who watch my show know, and you know, there was a lot of great tech revealed. Okay, absolutely amazing. Byton, Fisker, Mercedes-Benz, all of that stuff. But one car, the most underrated unveiling, if you ask me, something to really watch out for, was Kia Niro EB. Now, I'll tell you why. And I know it's Kia, and a lot of people don't really think of Kia as sort of a big major player in electric car space. And I know some people don't even think of Kia as a major player in car space. But, you know, but they are now, okay? And they did it kind of quietly. As a matter of fact, even their presentation, their unveiling event wasn't that great. They didn't even have a car on stage. But here's the thing. It has a great range, 238 miles, so it puts it right in the middle of with all the big boys right now. This is an acceptable range that people can get behind on, right? 2, it's a compact SUV. So there's none on the market right now. Tesla Model Y has not even been unveiled, so that's that. The price is expected to be under 40,000, so which is, you know, acceptable, especially with all of the incentives. And on top of that, it is a car that they're already making in a hybrid version, so they don't really have to upgrade this car all that much. Yes, they've changed the look a little bit, and I think it looks amazing. But everything else, their powertrain and all of that stuff inside, is kind of already been figured out. So they're going in production this year, and it's going to be on sale this year. I'm telling you, I think this car will surprise everybody in terms of sales, and I think it will surprise everybody in terms of popularity, because again, affordable, long-range electric car that's an SUV. So yes, I think Tesla will look at this as a threat, and I think they will at the very least unveil the Model Y maybe earlier than they wanted to, just to make sure that they keep the interest of Tesla community and just people who've been waiting for this, because they don't want to be losing all these customers to Kia or maybe others, but right now it's really just Kia. So that would be a smart move of them. So if you ask me, Gene, thank you for your question, but you're absolutely right. So guys, can't stress enough, pay attention. Kia will make a big splash. And by the way, it was Elon Musk who told us that the Model Y will be a bigger sale than a Model 3, because everybody is into, you know, SUVs and crossovers. Ken's 300X says in the chat room, both Model 3 and Model Y will be huge sellers. I agree, but I think this one as well. Range kills your battery. I don't know what that means, Matthias. Sorry. Bill B in the chat room says Kia has a very good dealer network as well. Absolutely. Kia has everything already figured out, right? Dealer network, service centers, and everything. It's a major player. Nigel in the chat room says that the rate of production right-hand drive not worth waiting for. All right. Let's see. I think, okay, so you guys are talking to each other. Zubair in Ahmed in the chat room says, you think that the Model 3 ever get the ludicrous mode? You know what? I think so. I mean, I think they're going to have to compete with an BMW M3, right? An AMG package for Mercedes C-Class. So I believe so. It's actually not a bad idea, but I think it's a ways away. Adrian C6 in the chat room says, I agree. I need to see Model Y specs before making my next SUV purchase. So yeah, I have to say, you know, this is a great comment. Thank you. And just this is why I love this section so much. This is definitely something that we are going to talk. Now, Gary in New York, of course, is right. The Kia does not have charging infrastructure. You know, whenever we're talking about new electric car right now, Tesla have everybody beat as far as the supercharging network. So that's great, you know, but most people have two cars. So if you have to have a long trip, you can use your different car and this is going to be your daily commuter. 238-mile range is really not that bad for pretty much your everyday driving, but the traveling, right? All right, guys, there's just so many things. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking about everything that happened at CES. And, you know, if you guys haven't heard, I've gone to CES. It was absolutely mind-blowing and groundbreaking. We're going to talk about more about Fisker. We're going to talk about more about Byton and Mercedes-Benz and many other things. I'm going to tell you what happened behind the scenes, just my impressions. And I will have a video tonight about Fisker in my interview with Henrik Fisker and also Byton. And I'll have 7 or 8 videos in the next couple of weeks. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, this is a great time to subscribe so you don't miss anything moving forward. But most importantly, become this part of this awesome community. As you can see, the people in the chat are awesome. Okay, so I said awesome about 5 times now, so I know that's time to go. So I will see you guys tomorrow, because tomorrow we're just gonna hang out for a while and I'm gonna tell you everything about what happened at CES, and we'll kind of wrap up that way. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow, and remember to stay charged.